kids, welcome back. Last week we started learning about the fruits of the Spirit, and the first one that we learned about was kindness. Remember, we read that awesome book, and it talked about filling someone's bucket and using kindness as a way to reach out to others. So I hope you all were able to do so by doing acts of kindness. This week we're going to learn about joy. So what I'm going to have you guys do is go ahead and pause those screens and run and grab those Bibles. All right, so now I want you guys to open up those Bibles and I want you guys to read Galatians 5:22. And the second one I want you to read is Nehemiah 8:1-3 and 10-12. Go ahead and pause and do so. All right, so in the passage we just read, we read about Nehemiah and his friends, and they were rebuilding a wall around Jerusalem. But the whole time they were building the wall, they really were not obeying God. They had made some bad choices. Anyway, they finished building this wall, and they realized that, gosh, maybe along the way they weren't making the best choices, so they decided to read the Bible. And when they read the Bible, they found out that no, this whole time they were not following God. Well, what do people do when they do that? They tend to get sad and they kind of hold it all in. Well, Nehemiah tells them, the Lord wouldn't want us to be sad. He wants us to do things that bring us joy. So if you've ever done something that maybe your parents wouldn't be happy about and you know God wouldn't be happy about, do better next time. Don't do it. And find something that brings you joy, but is also something that brings God joy. So this brings me to today's Bible point. Today's Bible point is that joy is a fruit of the Spirit. So our takeaway is going to be that we will do something that is not only joyful for us, but joyful for the Lord. So that also leads me to today's question. Today's question is going to be, what is something that brings you joy? Go ahead and pause. So to answer the question about what brings me joy, it would be my daughter, Paisley. She's 3 years old, and I just think that she's wonderful. I know sometimes she probably makes not the best choices, but I just think, she brings me such joy in my life. She gives me purpose, and this is who I would choose as someone who brings me joy. Now, my nephew, Mason, he's 10 years old. Some of you might know him. If I asked him the question, I have a feeling what he would say would be candy. So I think he would really choose some Skittles. And he also loves some bubble tape. I think anytime he comes to church, he gets in my office and he's in that cabinet and he's trying to find some candy. So I can almost bet that the joy that he gets would be from candy or video games, playing outside, going swimming. I know those are a couple things that would bring him joy. So I hope you guys were able to come up with something that brings you joy, because without that in your lives, it would be sad. And I think having something to look forward to and something that brings you joy is just a way to enjoy life. So today we're going to make an instrument, because making an instrument is about making a joyful noise. So I'm going to go over the supplies if you want to copy the instrument that I'm going to make. Today, the first thing that you'll need is tape. It doesn't matter the color. I would just make sure that it's something that has enough sticky on it that will hold your products together. So tape. The second thing is I'm using black beans, but you don't have to use beans. You can use rice, rocks. You can go get gravel, anything that will kind of make a little bit of a noise. And I have 2 cups. And they don't have to be decorated or clear. They can be 2 different colors, whatever you choose. I chose these because I love the flowers on them. So I thought that these were already decorated and that this is what I would like to use. So go ahead and pause, run and grab your items, and meet me back. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the black beans. If you don't have a hole already cut at the top, you may want to do so with a pair of scissors, but be careful. And carefully pour it into the cup because I don't want it to spill and go everywhere. I don't want your parents mad at me. And then make sure you tie the bag back up so it doesn't go everywhere again. Put it off to the side. Then go ahead and take your cup, stack it on top. Take your tape. Gotta find the end. And I would start by just kind of tearing off a piece. And when you do that, because you're going to want to line it up, go ahead and start like from the back and use your 2 fingers in the front to kind of position it and kind of hold it there. And then you can use the rest of your hand to kind of tape it off. But you're going to have to use a couple of pieces. So I'm kind of flattening it on the side. I'm going to turn the side that I didn't tape kind of towards me. Tear it off again. And this is a little easier because I can kind of measure up to where the last piece of tape is that I put. And you're going to want to do this a few times just so when you're shaking it and you're really getting into that music, you don't have any accidents where your instrument breaks open, because that would be a disaster. So, I'm going to do it again. Kind of get it taped up. And again, you're going to want to do a couple coats just so you can secure those beans or rice or pea gravel, whatever you used to make the noise inside your instrument. And I think this will kind of do it for mine. It feels, you shouldn't be able to feel your cups move at all. They should be pretty tight on there. I mean, I think I'd be able to throw it across the room and it wouldn't even bust back open. So then you're going to test it out. So I made a maraca and I'm going to test mine out. Are you ready? Oh yeah. So now I want you guys to go and find your favorite music that brings you joy and play along to it. It can be any music you want as long as your parents approve. And shake those instruments. Bring yourself some joy. So today we learned our Bible point is one of the fruits of the Spirit, which is joy. So our takeaway is going to be that you are to do something that's not only joyful for yourself, but joyful to the Lord. So I want you guys to remember to play those joyful instruments. And I want to leave you guys with this summary verse. But the Holy Spirit produces this kind of fruit in our lives: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There's no law against these things. Galatians 5:22-23. Have a great week, guys.